Chama Wangavo, you guys. Chama just chame. I know it's early for some of y'all. We're gonna get back to the Georgia surnames. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Check the chat. Let me see what y'all doing. Ah, Helito, copper color brown. Hey, Rainstorm. Hey, Liz. Helito. Helito, Chad. All right, I can see y'all on the screen for some reason. Hey, Drew. Switch out. Yeah, Grand Rising. I know on the East Coast, on the West Coast, some of y'all just waking up, right? Lito Shiva, the new name. All right, I got the notification on my other account so I can see what y'all saying over here when I switch. All right, so today we're going to get back into the Georgia surnames. I didn't get everybody. We mostly went over the Cherokee. So we're going to get more into the Creek and the Yuchi. Oh, I'm doing good, Sheba. How are you? That's good. Peace to you too. Wangapo, Chickahominy roots. You're on Central Time? Yeah, it's a little early. I know. It's Saturday. I thought people gonna be up. Get it out the way early, right? You said it's just 8:30 on Pacific West, and you in the laundromat. Uh-oh. Okay, Darlene. Sorry. So we're gonna get into it. Let me share my screen so y'all can see. Let me know if y'all can hear me well, because I might you see the mic right here, but I talk low sometimes. Can y'all hear me? Okay, let me switch on to sharing the screen. You said was loud and clear. Okay, good, good, good. Peace, Michael. Hey, Dion. Helito. All right, so can y'all see my screen now? All right, now it's looking crazy. All right, I'm going to switch over. All right. It keeps loading again because I had all the stuff up, guys. I wanted to go back to this website, lostcreek.org, that we were at the other day, because I saw that they have genealogies of certain families on here. Okay, for those that are stuck on certain surnames, they have that genealogy, just like what freeafricanamericans.com has, something similar, but these are the same site, and they're distinct. They're just showing these people as okay. It's not working now. And Lito Code and Phoenix. I guess that's Phoenix on the other. We moved to another voice because it's not working. I don't know what's going on. I don't have issues today either, so I don't get it. But it's interesting that you see they want to put everybody in the free people color, and they want to put people in the free black box. But then all those surnames go back to the Indian tribes. So they're trying to say that we aren't Indian and we're just mixed Europeans, mixed with Europeans and Africans. All our surnames go back to these Indian tribes. So that's not making much sense. Okay. All right. Can y'all see this right here, or should I blow it up? Let me blow it up a little bit. All right. So the list of quote unquote Native American descendants associated with West Florida, all that Georgia. Okay. This may provide clues for you as ancestors. They're starting off with a man named Chief Sam Story. So Story is the surname, and he was the chief of the Choctawhatchee Uchis in the early 1800s. And some identify Timpopucci Kennard. Okay, so Kennard is another surname. These people are saying it's doubtful, and there needs to be a great deal more study on these questions. Okay, reports Timpucci Kennard and Timpucci Bernard in Georgia, Northwest Florida. Okay, let's see. So Camp, modern day name, assigned to 4-H camp on the southwest side of Choctawhatchee Bay. Certain families associated with Chief Sam people include Campbell, McKinnon, Crow, Potter, and Garnett, among others. Families of Okaloosa and Walton counties document descendancy appears on the museum. Surnames include Cousins, McIntosh, Williams, Turner, what's this, Grierson, and Griner. All right, y'all see that? So at first you didn't understand this whole surname thing, and now you get the reason. Yeah, because these are associated, they're on documents, they're on treaties. All these things connect you. People out here say like genealogy doesn't matter within the indigenous community, when genealogy is the most important thing that we should be focusing on and connecting our families and connecting, because when we connect our families, we're connecting the tribes back. Okay. So anybody who says something like that, you know they are foolish. You shouldn't listen to what they're talking about. All right. Ruby Atwell, 1906, 1996, obituary states his ancestors are buried in the area surrounding Turkey Hen Creek, and who are buried along the Yellow River. Buried in the Viewcrest News Bulletin, December 1996. And we're on bakerblockmuseum.org. Okay, let me see if I can add this into the chat so y'all can see where we're at. Native American surnames. It's gonna be an ordeal. Trying to add it on. I can click and read. Like a lot of these names call us. They want us to think that we're big African slave, but those of us who've done our genealogy know that's not true. Okay, and even if people do have ancestor, the majority of these people were not. And you said you misspelled it. Okay, so Jesse C. Turner signed an affidavit regarding his Native American ancestry. It was this William McIntosh and Chief William Cousins of the Ifula Creeks. Surnames noted in the document are Turner, Oh, look at all these celebrities named Turner, like Tina Turner, Cannon, like Nick Cannon, Knight, and Ward. A copy of Native American section, Okaloosa County, Florida. Okay. So this, I guess we're going to be covering Florida because some of Florida was also Georgia at one point in time. Okay. So Florida and a lot with genealogy. All right. The Muskogee Nation of Florida, formerly the Florida tribe of the Eastern Creek Indians. Names Tucker. Okay. We're seeing the same names over again, you guys. Tucker, Cruz, like Denson, Karn, McCowley, Denson again for some reason, Ward, Stokes, and Thomas. Okay, a lot of us know Melon's surname, right? William Red Eagle Weatherford, 1781 through March 24th, 1824, was a Creek Missoula offense, offensive, it says offensive, against the United States. William Weatherford, like many American members of the Creek Nation, was a mixture of Scottish and Creek Indian. Right. And that's another thing. A lot of these people who are now currently enrolled with these tribes, all of all of them are of mostly Scots Irish descent. Okay. And that's why they look Scottish. That look that they're trying with the high cheekbones and stuff, that is a Scottish phenotype. Okay. So don't be confused when you see on TV these people who have straight hair and high cheekbones and a certain light, very light tawny complexion. Those people saying that that's how American Indians look when really those people are mixed. Okay, they're very much mixed with Scots Irish. Because the Scottish and the Irish that came over here, a lot of them became Indian agents, as they call. So they kind of they work for the crown, American government. What they do, they would go and be intermediaries, either interpreters or political or traders, and some of them would live amongst the Indians. And they basically they were snitches and spies. So all the stuff that we were doing, they would go and run and tell the government what was going on. Okay. And a lot of them they were traders to Scotland and they're traders to Ireland because they would work for the British, okay, or the Americans. So that is how these people became, and the reason why some of the surnames, not all of them, but some of the surnames are in Irish, okay? So a lot of these people today, they look like that because they are Scottish or Irish or both descendants. All right. His war name was Hop Nika Fushaya. Okay, don't tell me how I can pronounce that, but I'll mess up Milford or something. Or Truth Teller. So his name is Truth Teller, and was commonly referred to Lamochate or Chati or Red Eagle Chati by other Creeks. He was William McGillery, a nephew of Leader Milford. Was also a cousin of William McIntosh. So you see how all these mixed people are. That's how that's how they got into leadership in these tribes, and that's why the tribes are the way they are today. Okay. Should say once you go on a search for knowledge, you don't know what you'll find exactly. And some of us are descended from these people, right? Some of us are descended from these people. You said my mom and one uncle was only 2 dark complected out of 12. He said, yeah, they were marrying among our people. Right. And then they started Xing us out. Like you'll see with the Pamunkey and stuff, they'll start Xing the darker people out. Right. And only marrying with the lighter people, or people completely not in the tribe, right? European people that's not in the tribe at all. Of the Hendersons, Trek of the Hendersons by Jeanette Henderson, available in the museum's research library, lists many more name Jackson, McCurdy, Dalton, Treadaway, and Henderson. Miss Jeanette Courtney Henderson is a member of the Lower Muskogee Creek tribe in Wingham, Georgia, and her husband is a member of the Muskogee tribe in Indian, Florida. Okay. You said you have found that to be true, Chickahominy roots. Yeah, you know how the Powhatan got down. You know that's how they did. They for love. They were trying to mix out a lot of times. Yeah, I dropped the link in the chat earlier, Sheba. Did y'all see it? You might have to scroll up. Yeah, scroll up. It's the block. It's bakerblockmuseum.org. If you can scroll up and do it and read, because it takes so much for me to redo it, and somebody else reposted in the chat. So, okay, descendants of Thomas Jackson and wife, Seneeth Hammond by Jeanette Henderson, Baker Spiners. So these people who are descendants of Thomas Jackson and Aneeth Hammond are Creek people. The works of William Bell also list some of these Creek people. So all of these are resources for people who are doing genealogy based, invaluable resources to connect you to these tribes. You gonna scroll up, Candy? Okay. Linda McKay Calhoun of Pensacola, Florida, has an extensive library of her ancestors in our area. Her full article appears in the Heritage of County, Florida, Volume 2, available in the. So all of these resources this page sells, okay? They have an actual museum in Florida, and they'll sell some of these items on their website. So you're gonna have to go to bakerblockmuseum.org. Oh, no problem, Candy B. I like your name too. It's like Cardi B. Okay, so here are some of the surnames. Again, Gates. It's like your boy Skip Gates. Southern, Atwell, Smith. I know some of y'all asked about Smith. Daughtery or Dorothy. Did I pronounce that right? McKay and others. This surnames of descendants of Native Americans in our area include Cheshire, Steele, Carr, Helms, Sneal, Kirkland, Devorix, Tarvin, Elliott, Danley, Kennedy, like Kurt Franklin, and Cook, Booker, and Posey. These sit within the Family History Volume Research Library. Happy hunting from what was it, Northwest Florida or Southern Georgia. These are some of the people who are Creek. How you said Skip a Creek came in to be a Nubian. Y'all already know Skip done lost his mind and Skip getting paid to do this to make us think we all came from one big African slave ship, which is not true. Yeah, I already know Skip is out his mind. So Dees or Dea is the same family. And Williams are Native American descendants. Okay. So all y'all people with Williams, Williams is on every list. So y'all know y'all is from here, right? Halito lady Gemini. Y'all Williams people know y'all from here, right? Up Browns on this one again. Look at that. Jones, y'all know y'all's from here, right? I'm a Jones and a Brown. If you said Hosey, I have that name in my line by marriage from Georgia. Yep, it was on here. It's on here yesterday too. All right, with the introduction to Native American Heritage, page 90, which is a book, okay, of Okaloosa County, Florida, volume 2, these surnames are social by Indians. 1828, I guess current time or whatever. Bunch, Ayers, Jeffries, Harmon, Jones, Stevens, Williams, there we go, Williams again, Scott. Additional surnames, various Creek bands, William, Williams, Brown, Ray, Bryant, like Kobe Bryant, Perryman, Butcher, Hagan, Fennell, Stanley, Bartlett, Marine, Burns, Bryant again, and Moniac. Moniac. You said your brother and sister's father is a Williams. Let them know. Let y'all family know. Share these videos out. That's why I make people and use the resources and show other people. So you don't be the one looking like the crazy one at the talking about we Indians with no proof. So they can come back and see this stuff. Okay. So y'all please share this video out right now so more people can get on. I know during the week everybody's not able, especially during 2 o'clock when I'm usually on 2:30 to get on, but on the weekend able to. Even if they work, it's kind of slow. Certain jobs on the weekend. All right, Henry Russian Cook family. Henry was born on April 25th, 1869 in the Cambia Farms, son of Matthew. What is that? Malika. I'm just Malika. And Eliza Ann Steele. His mother Eliza served as a midwife and the herbs and Native American medicine to help people in her area. What's up, Akeem? Thank you. Yeah, so that's another sign. A lot of our grandmas and grandpas, they knew that herbal medicine. They knew what to go out in the woods and, certain remedies that they had passed down. And they might not even know where it came from, but that's where it came from, right? They're indigenous. She was a descendant of the Musqueam, who were called Creek Indians by the English traders. Prominent traders in the Creek Nation. Trade in the village, these traders always married prominent women within the tribe. Just like I was telling y'all about them Scots Irishmen, them agents, them Indian agents, right? Who come up and live right under us and be running back and telling all our information, right? A lot of them married these women, right? And that's how they got in good with us, by marrying the women. And in a lot of our cultures, we had a thing with incest, right? So it was promoted for women to marry someone outside the tribe because it only benefited us DNA wise, and also we're taking somebody else from another team. Basically, when you're stealing players from another team, so it was always seen as something good and always encouraged, even before the Europeans were here. Okay. Plus, that person joined your team, especially if they were from. Now, if it was wartime, that's something different. You wouldn't want to do that. There's a whole bunch of stories about Algonquian women trying to marry Iroquois men during the Great War, and it turned tragic, and the women end up dying, and all this stuff. That's totally different. But if she's marrying if she's a Powhatan, and she's marrying somebody from down with the Lumbees or whatever, that's something different. Pretty much similar people right there. Okay, so where was I? They married prominent women to try mother. What's Henry Rice's family and his community. He and his daughter Susie Cook are pictured in the cultural the sites section to see on their way to the coast of Mexico, the coast Gulf of Mexico, which would be American ceremonial, particularly to adorn grave sites. So the grave sites. This family kept the old Indian customs and belonged to Christ at Union Hill. Okay, and some of these churches, your family church, holds this information about your genealogy. So it's good to check with your local church. Okay, ask grandma and them what's their family church, and some of them have baptism records and other things that are very important to your genealogy. Of the Florida tribe of Eastern Creek, now known as the Muskogee Nation of Florida. The following is quoted from a written statement she made and is on file of Indian Affairs in Washington, D.C. Cook hymns, Linda Sue hymns, Cheshire, Nathan. And quote, it says, Daddy was sick for 2 weeks. When he first got sick, the spirit of Elizabeth, Eliza Steele Cook, his dead mother, came hanging from her arm and her own medicine he did. His wife Nanny heard and went in to see who he's talking to. This was when he told her him and told Corey. He died 2 weeks later. Christian Creek Indians more in touch than the author of this article printed Okaloosa County, Florida. All right, so history section on Native Americans to learn more. So all the stuff available in their store. I'm not sure if you can contact the store and have them deliver it or whatever. All right, Halito, y'all. Halito, Yee. You said them Native Americans must be jealous. Their women not as thick as Tasha. You silly. Oh my goodness. All right. Thomas Eliza Cheshire, the 1826 congressional records indicate that 18 men, including signed a petition with James Interrarity, requesting a be in this group included 5 ancestors of the Cheshire family. James Interrarity, agent for the Leslie Trade Company, and he employed fast and in the southeastern in the Indian trade. Most of the men who signed this petition coexisted with the Creek and married women. Once again, like I told you, in agents. That's how they got in. Got in the pants, they got in the tribe. Pretty much. Because they're trying to do business. That's back in the day, marriage was about business, right? Trade, business, commerce. So they were trying to get in good with the trade and make some money. So they had to get good with the women, right? After the trade ceased, they acquired cattle and ranged them back and forth across the Florida, Alabama state line. Some of y'all Alabama people descend from these people too. Barrow, Steele, Chester, Bryant, and Dan Nelly. Okay. So these are the trader men, traders, the trappers, trap kings. Hathcock family, Baldwin County, Alabama, Creek heritage. All right, these are Creek people in Alabama from these same families, like I was just telling you. Names include Emma Gibson, Lofton, Hollinger, Bailey, Dusong, Alert or Elliot, Key, and many more. Google or the web gulftel.com/nobles. Okay. Peace, you guys. Peace, knowledge seeker. I'll see you on. All right. The border hopping browns. Uh-oh. This don't sound good. The accounts vary and finding documentation is difficult. Family lore says sailed into the Wachi River and took in. Y'all see the pattern here? All right. Just like people are saying the bloodline through the woman. This is what they mean. They don't mean that you're not Indian if you come from paternal line that's Indian, right? They know how to get into the tribe. Yep, trapping. That's a real trappers. Trapping, right? Trapping and rapping. Trapping and clapping. Whatever. Stealing. They definitely was some thugs now. Y'all know they was. We doing all that just to trade and make money. They was trapping. All right. The counts vary and finding documentation is difficult. Family lore says that William in trace their ancestry to William Brown's children. Laborn, Henry, Allen, and John Brown. I believe that the Browns were active in both Native American and U.S. politics. They became known to the local Creek Indians as the border hopping Browns because at one time the fan hunters, look at these thugs now, back and forth against Georgia, Alabama, Florida to avoid detection, and there was no records of their exact location. Several articles on these particular Florida County Heritage books found at our local libraries and the museum's research library. Okay, so yeah, fugitive thugs. So it's good, you guys, to check these local libraries of the places that your family is from. If you can't get there, call them. Also, these museums and these historical societies. Okay, certain places. I know Virginia has a lot of research libraries with reference books specifically for genealogy. It's a whole one. There's one here that has like a whole history and genealogy room that I usually go to. But I know other places will have that information as well. Okay. Thank you, Yee. Yeah, hit the like button, you guys. Okay. We're trying to get this channel up some more so we can have some guests on. You know, the guests want to see that they have some subscribers that's going to be watching the show. They don't want to just be on a ghost channel. Get these subscribers up so people feel more comfortable on this channel. Okay, so we're trying to get some big name people on here. Calvin McGee, the first formal leader in the sense of a single leader with a definitive title and a clear was who was in 1950. Okay, charismatic leader McGee community until his death in 1970. He also led a wider land claims movement resulting in tactics of the of Fort Jackson. Okay, guys. So a lot of this, they're doing a lot of legal stuff because a lot of us aren't reading these treaties and we're not enforcing the treaties. Okay. He traveled the area collecting data of people known to be Native American. A copy of his name is available in the genealogy section of Porter's public library. Just like I was telling you guys, a lot of stuff in the local library. Okay. It is an extraordinary work with many, many names. Andrew Ramsay, a Creek native. Andrew Ramsay was born in 1923 and grew up in Blountstown, Florida. His family ancestors settled Calhoun County, Florida, in the 1800s. a true Indian name is, I can't even pronounce that, Von Tolf Harjo, I'll just say that. Under his name, he was chief of the Muskogee Band of the Apalachicola. I like that name, Apalachicola Creeks. Earlier jobs entailed keeping the free roaming cows and hogs out of his father's grocery store. After attending SU and receiving his PhD, okay, Andrew to train elementary school teachers and remain a lifelong educator. Now the state Apalachicola Creek Indians and runs the grocery store business. Father. He's been advisor son to start a rolling store with some goods and a mule. A store that in five is the Blountstown Piggly Wiggly. Okay, country stuff, right? You said sounds like a drink, right? Like a new soda, the Apalachicola. The Apalachicola. That's like a new. That sounds like good soda. He said that's what my grandfather said. His father was at Apalachicola Creek. Uh-oh. So Candy getting some breakthroughs today, huh? Getting some breakthroughs. He said, I looked up my surname and one definition means son of Alan. Oh, okay. I'm looking at y'all comments now. You said, Tasha, new to your channel, but have you done this on the state of Louisiana? No, a couple of people were asking about Louisiana. If you look on No Grandma Killer's page, Johnny Aboriginally was on here a couple days ago, and he covered Louisiana. I don't know if he got into all the surnames, but he gave you guys a basic picture and where to look for some of this information and the original tribes there. Okay, so check out that video with Johnny Aborigine and Coach Crewcut. Need more information on Louisiana. Yeah, and you guys, y'all ask more. We can see if Johnny can come back with more surnames and stuff. Yeah. Said Tasha thicker than molasses and a fist full of concrete. Kakeem, what you doing? You be on everybody. You was on Yana's channel. All right. So y'all, let me put that on here. Block Baker. I keep starting with Block Baker Block Museum.org. All right, I'm gonna put it back in the chat. I came on one today. I don't know what he doing. All right, I'm about to get to the other page, y'all. All right, let me chat. All right, you Irish and Scottish were brought here to war, and 7 years before they're out in the fields like our ancestors too. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Some of them later came here, especially Irish, and try to get in where they fit in, right? There's a lot of wars out in Ireland amongst them coming here to escape a lot of that. And yeah, some of them were, especially in Georgia. Georgia used to be a big prison. Okay, that was where they Georgia kind of failed because people was running away and all this stuff. They founded Australia to be their team of wild and he is wilding. He wilding out, y'all. This is why you don't smoke weed, children. That's what I'm about to say. He got Blake, ain't he? Really. All right, let me get the one I was on. Let me see. This one finally loaded. Of course it hasn't. Let me look at y'all comments. Yes, so these names, these are the names of the Indian agents. That's for our culture back then. If you were in, you were okay. So if you was Chad McDonald from Scotland, you came over and you married a Creek woman, you married into her clan, Creek man to be. That's how they got mixed in, and how a lot of people are coming back who are wives, and they're coming back with full, because so many different Europeans were adopted into the tribe. Okay, that's what it is. In that case, those people are not considered $5 Indians. They earn their right into those tribes. That's why it gets tricky. In back in Oklahoma and all that, that's when the $5 Indians came in, and it kind of okay. So that's a whole nother subject. Y'all want me to do a video on that because there's a lot of information about certain people. Okay, and that in no way means that these people are better than us and they can deny us who we are. Okay, that's a whole nother thing. Just because some of them were accepted in tribes does not mean that they are the authority and they can tell us that we can't be part of the tribe when we are blood descendants on many branches. Kiowa, you said, I noticed that Gibson name be in many tribes. Wonder if Gibson's connected to some type of job. I don't know. Like I said, I'm a Gibson. I'm not sure if it's connected to a job. That'll be something interesting to look into. But it definitely Gibson definitely or Gibbs was definitely a tribe in over in the UK at one time. That's what the name comes from. All people aren't blood related to those people over in Europe, but they might have adopted that surname. You said, can you do the Melungeon tribes? Melungeons ain't none but mixed Indians, y'all. Some of them ain't even barely Indian. It's the same surnames that I've been doing for the last whatever, how long I've been doing this. It's the same names, y'all. I'm telling you. Gibson on my family tree, and it's hard to find information about. A lot of information on the Gibsons, a lot. You see every list that I do, they on here, okay? That's a lot of information. Look for the American Indian information of Gibson, okay? Just a whole bunch of information. If you go to this Native American Roots.wordpress.com, she has a lot of information on there. Gibsons and the Evans and their connection. But now we're the word Anderson, and I'm an Anderson too, but I'm not descended from these Andersons because these Andersons were enslaved in Virginia, and my Andersons were always free. I don't think they're the same. I think these people adopted the Anderson name. They're not blood Andersons. But anyways, this okay. So this is the Lost Creek or lost-creek.org website about earlier. That we had covered the surnames on the other day. So these people, what I noticed on the side here, I don't think y'all can see. Let me zoom in. I don't want to get crazy. On the histories, okay? And they also have individual family genealogies on the side, which is a gold mine for some of us, right? They have the Anderson family, Bass family. All these people are notorious Indian families. Cooper, Evans, who I was just talking about Evans, Pettiford, Roberts, Russell, Shepard, Stewart, and Walden. Okay, so you can go to each individual, bring up Anderson. Right now, for example, it's old and slow. But this is the genealogy of the Andersons in Norfolk County, Virginia. All right. And it says the Anderson family was freed by the 29 October sale of John Fulcher in Norfolk County, Virginia. And y'all notice that Right here is proof that these enslaved people had their own surnames, they had their own family identities. Mr. Skip likes to put it out like people get the name from slave masters. He likes to put out this misconception. That is not true for many people. Okay. I'm not saying some people didn't get their name from the slave masters, but he's putting in people's head that assumption so they won't even look up the right information. If you watch his show, I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant. I'm trying to calm myself down because I'm about to go off. If you watch the show, he will skip generations, right? He'll say, okay, because since you have an oral history of grandma being a slave, let me go and search the area where grandma lived for a slave master with a similar, with the same surname, which is incorrect. You see that right here. Okay, so he'll make the assumption that instead of John Fulcher being the slave master, John Anderson would be the slave master. And that'll be a whole different, totally different family person, probably different plantation. You can't go off these crazy assumptions, and that get people mixed up. Somebody could, like I said, the Andersons. I'm from John Anderson, who was a slave, who was not a slave. Okay, so he was not a slave. He did have some slaves. Okay, so the person who's descended from this Anderson might think that they're descended from John Anderson, but they're not. They're descended from a different Anderson group who were on the plantation of John Fulcher. Okay, y'all see how what they say the hijack happens. Said what Curry Mayo and them say the hijack. That's exactly what it is. It's a genealogy hijack, and people are mixing themselves up, listening to these people, and making assumptions. You cannot make assumptions in genealogy. Okay, you can have an idea, right? You can draft and write ideas on where how you want to go about looking for things, but you can't make the assumptions. You're gonna if you once you make these assumptions, you're gonna miss a whole bunch of information because you stop looking. And that's exactly what Skip and them want you to do. Skip and them. That's exactly what they want you to do, right? Okay. So excuse me, let me calm down. All right. So he appointed Lewis Connor executor and granted him women and children their freedom. Okay, these are the Andersons from that plantation. And he left them 640 acres of land in Stillwell's Point in Norfolk County. Sorry. The freeing of the slaves prompted the council on March 5th, 1712 13, and that the General Assembly provide a law against such manumissions of slaves, which may in time, by their increase and correspondence with other slaves, may endanger the peace of this colony. Which is not true because it was a whole already. They was just hating on this particular family, basically. All right. Right, right. So on March 20th, 1712, 1730, the Andersons exchanged with Lewis Connor. This, you see what happened here? They did this to take the land from these people. So they exchanged with Lewis Connor the 640 acres left to him by Fulcher's will with 300 acres of land by which identify them by name. Y'all see what happened? So they lost what 300 because they making up these fake laws, right? Trying to trick people when they rightfully shouldn't even been enslaved in the first place, right? These are most likely indigenous people who have been tricked and enslaved, and now they want to steal the land by making this law, basically hating on them and hating on other people who are getting freed. Okay. All right. So here are the names: Robert Richards, Mar- uh, Maria Richards, Kate Anderson, Hester Anderson, Betty, Lewis Anderson, Sarah Anderson, and our children to wit Peter Anderson, George Anderson, Dina Anderson, Ned Anderson, Rachel Anderson, Mingo Anderson, Tony Anderson, and Susan Anderson infants. Okay, I guess her and her twins, babies or whatever. You said, I'm on a quest to see if my family own land. Yeah, we can get into that too, because there's ways to look that information up. In response to Connor's petition of the same day, the Norfolk County Court ordered him to transport the Negroes lately set free by said Fulcher's will out of the car, the sheriff to assist him. Excuse me, y'all. I have to chew my gum. Ordered him to assist them, probably in an effort to prevent their correspondence with other slaves. All right. Because as y'all know, well, y'all might not know, those who saw the Harriet movie know. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got water, rainstorm, but it's not working, so I need my gum. Some people know that enslaved people had the freedom and right to hire lawyers or work as their own lawyer and take these people to court to petition for their freedom. This is why Virginia specifically, certain families who had got free around 1700s or whatever, they were shipping them to or forcing them out to North Carolina. Okay. They didn't want to have an uprising. They didn't want people, because before that, if y'all look at the records, it was an influx of enslaved people taking people for court for anything. They took people to court for assault, um, all different types of things, not paying them properly. So all this stuff that Skip and them promote, we know it's not true, right? Slaves could walk around freely. They 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 took people to court. Okay, so something not adding up with these roots. Uh, these slave movie narratives, because you can see in these documents when you look in these counties that these people were walking around freely. They were taking people to court. I mean, some of y'all can't even get off work now to go to court. Slaves were going to court. They were going, had time enough to go hire lawyers, and it's like, come on, y'all. Y'all really want us to believe that these people was getting their ass whooped every day? Excuse my language. Getting violated every day. Wasn't getting paid. It's not true if you look at these records. Okay, not saying people weren't evil, because clearly they were, but it's a lot of stuff that they are they're putting misinformation out. He said, look up the homestead acts where your family may have purchased land. Right. There's a whole website that has a database that you can look up. It's for the land bureaus. So you got to look up the land bureau records. Okay. And there's another one that you can look up and see if your ancestors had left any type of money in wills or bank accounts and things like that. That's a whole nother video, you guys. In response to Connor's petition, I already read that, right? Of the same day, the Norfolk County Court ordered him to transfer the Negroes safely out of the colony, okay? Probably in an effort to prevent their correspondence with other slaves. Fulcher's executor, Lewis Connor, by deed, dated on 20 October 1715, swapped their land in Norfolk with 640 acres of land on Welch's Creek, part of Chowan County, North Carolina, which later became Martin and Washington counties. Okay, so y'all see this hijack right here. Legally, these people were 640 acres in Virginia, Norfolk County. Now that is prime real estate at the time. Okay, to be put on the Welch's Creek was probably swampland, you guys. All right, y'all see what's happening? So that prime real estate in Virginia was swapped out for real estate in North Carolina. So, and it seemed like at first Lewis Connor was kind of conning them, but eventually he gave them all their amount of land to them, but in a different county. So he kind of hooked them up for real. So you can't wait to get into Arkansas. On my father's side, found homestead documents. Wow. Knowledge Seeker, you said your information helped me out. I was trying to find out where my great grandfather's surname Lavelle came from. Did you just see it on here? It was just on here for under the Creeks. It's a Creek surname. All right, so y'all see what happened right here. So this guy Lewis Connor tried to hook him up. All right, ordered him to trade. Basically, this is what happened. The court was kind of ordered the Andersons to trade with him their 640 acres for 300 acres in Virginia, but he was able to get them their 640 acres in North Carolina or Charlton County. It might have been lesser quality land, but it still was all their acres. They'd be able to sell it off, right? Although the deed of exchange for land was acknowledged and recorded in Charlton County, North Carolina, in September 1715, that's why it's good to check these county records too, you guys, for your ancestors. If the Andersons never took possession of the land, what? There's no record of Andersons ever selling the land in North Carolina. There was also deed of 15 July 1715 from James, a free Negro of Princess Anne County, whereby he sold to Connor for 50 pounds land lying and being between Creek and Stowell Point in North Carolina. I mean Norfolk County. Why am I keep saying Norfolk? Being an equal part and all that share the land which was given the said James by his deceased master, Mr. John Fulcher. See, John Fulcher, he was trying to hook them up too, right? You've ever heard of Connor connected to Convoy tribe of Maryland? Talking about the Piscataway? I'm not sure about Connor. It probably is the angelicized version of Kanoi. And Kanoi is a Piscataway speak the same as Powhatan, so they speak almost the same language. So that is an Algonquian word. You said I got the hubba bubbles. I was about to choke. I was about to choke up on here. I need that water wasn't working. I'm about to spit it out in a second though, you guys. Hubba bubba gum. Although the D, okay, did I read that already? So something, the courts is doing some weird stuff. Okay, John Fulcher and this Lewis Connor person is trying to help these enslaved people, but the laws don't seem like it's on their side. All right. Lewis Anderson was probably born around 1713, since he was not mentioned in John Fulcher's 1712 Norfolk County will. There's no but he may have been the son of Elizabeth Anderson. Okay, and that's another thing. A lot of these people, the surnames come from the mother. Okay, most a lot of cases, which we kind of ignore as well. That usually means that the mother wasn't married to the father. Okay, so they take on the mother's surname. He married Sarah Bass, the daughter of John Bass and Love Harris, before 18 January 1732, when John Bass made his 18 January 1732 Bertie County will. He was number 87 in the 8 October 1754 muster roll regiment of of Colonel, where did I get John from? I'm reading too fast. Of Eaton in Granville County, Captain John Salis Company. On 3 April 1762, Lewis bought a further 96-acre on Creek in Granville County. In 1782, he was taxable in Oxford District, 296 acres, a horse, and 5 cattle. 1783, Granville County. Y'all see all these county records? That's why y'all got to look local. Was provided in May 1784. We can determine Lewis and Sarah's children from early Granville County tax lists and Lewis's 1783 will. Yes, please check out nograndmakillers.com, you guys, for the event in Atlanta. You can get your tickets and book your hotel through them at a cheaper rate, okay? Kawa, you said I asked because after 1787 Middle Passage, many families were moved from northern South to the deep South. And true, yeah, people were kidnapped. All types of stuff was going on then. All type of stuff. So it called the Soul Down River. That's what they called it. Let me get this thing out. Excuse me, y'all. One of Lewis and Sarah's daughters, Tamar Anderson, was born about 1742. Oops. In 1754. I guess that's when she became older. With her parents and John Sally's tax list. She was also taxable with 1755, but not in the Nix extant list of 1757. She's probably the wife, Tamar, listed with Edward Bass in the Oxford District list as 1761. She the daughter of Tamar Bass. Wait a minute, what? She was the daughter of Tamar Bass, named in her father's will. Tamar and Edward had a daughter named Prudence Bass. Or Prudence, I'm sorry. Prudence was the mother of Jethro Bass of Vigo County, Indiana. Okay, so y'all see the connection with all these people moving around. You see Virginia, you see North Carolina, now Indiana. So all these people are connected. So those of y'all who saying y'all looking for people, Louisiana and this and that place, some of y'all connected to these people on these other places. Okay. Yep, that's why they says go down the river, right down the Mississippi River. On the mulatto son of John Fulcher. What? Of John Fulcher. Y'all see what's going on here? Like I said, they getting through the women. Getting through the women. Born in 1696, was the ancestor of the Carolina branch of the Anderson family. On January 1738, he brought 260 acres of land on the south side of Bear Swamp, where he was then living in Bertie County, North Carolina. Y'all see all these swamp lands? They try to get the people to call this bad swamp lands. For 2 pence silver mass. This land became part of Bertie County when it was formed in 1741. George sold his 260 Hampton County 1745, and about 1746 through 48 he was taxed on 2 tithes in Granville County, North Carolina, and the list of Jonathan White adjacent to Lewis Anderson. He was listed with his wife and children in 1752 list of rights. Anderson George, his wife and sons, George, Jeremiah, and daughter Kate, 5 black tithes. Okay. So that means he had slaves, 5 slaves. How were the chattel slaves then? Well, they're claiming this Anderson family, this George guy, his mother was a slave and his father was a slave master. Right. But you notice it's still, he had his mother's surname, Elizabeth Anderson. Okay. He said they dried up the Great Dismal Swamp. It's much larger than it is now. Oh, okay. All right. So this is a lot, you guys, but y'all seeing the gist. I don't want to be stuck on this family because we're supposed to be focusing more on Georgia. But you can see the Bass. Okay. You see the surnames. You see Harris. You see Smith, right? Mitchell, Roberts. All these families intermarried, right? For they were, right? So up here where it says George Anderson, that's Virginia, and this is North Carolina. So people could literally walk across the border. Okay. You see how they're moving. All right. So y'all, if you're interested to these North Carolina via oh, it says Andersons and family members of the Nansemond Indian tribe. Okay, so the Basses were Nansemond. They were issued Nansemond Indian ancestry by Norfolk County on 15 and 20 July 1833. Okay, so the Basses are Nansemond, and they are a Powhatan tribe. All right, and most likely these they come from Powhatan Indians. It's certain. Okay, let's see. So I'm just giving y'all, and then they have more stuff, family research and things on the side. Let's do it. See family research, the grave, all the and special community link for Native American roots. All right, I'm gonna click that off. Imagine being Foreman's sons who all they gonna have some they're gonna have some nicknames, right? Lord, well, George, Big George, Smart George, Funny George. I can't remember. Yeah, it was something. You said, them kids was confused. They had to learn who they was talking to by pitch and tone. Okay, yeah, yeah. But yeah, what's going on here? What is? I don't know what's wait. So, this TV is confused from their certain mascot. This thing, and that is not true at all. You got it's not true. We be having some issues on the weekend. I'm telling you. All right. There we are. Yeah, far. All right, I'm gonna exit out all these. Exit the pages. Right. Is the other page freezing up, you guys? He said yes. His name that trying to do the genealogy. Which I mean, yeah, they got nicknames, but when you're doing the genealogy, that's gonna, people don't be thinking. They don't be thinking at all. All right, let me get. See, Creek. Y'all see some of the same surname. Anderson is definitely on this Creek census roll here, and this is at the Library of the University of Oklahoma, I believe this is. It's like to hell with this and give up. All these damn soldiers, Georgia DNA tests. Yeah, pretty not George when he that. It's almost like he, you know. So y'all got any questions about genealogy and Georgia, or in people related to those people who were in Georgia? I don't see no questions. My thing freezing up. I don't know. My thing freezing up, y'all. All right, let me just get to these Creek Indian records. On the Creek, Cherokee. So page. This is Roots Web for individual families and things. And this records, they have those who are Creek descendants. All right. They have the National Archives, microfilm, Indian records, Creek Nation tribal records on here. Drop this in the chat room. Other not working. It says Alachua, Florida. I'm not sure. We're going to get in Florida later. I was trying to do Georgia, but it seemed like and other places mixed up in there. Said these same people descend from each, from the same. So you came across a Lions family the other day. Yes, they were Cherokee. They were Cherokee Lion, just like what's it, Lucius Lion on Empire. And don't get mixed up with the spelling either, because okay, it's in the chat room. Some people could. This is writer not spell good. They were just regular folks. The average person, educated, everybody didn't know how to spell and stuff. Okay, so they have whole PDFs. Campbell's Act of Creek Indian Records, okay, and the Creek Freedmen, quote unquote, census card. And somebody had pointed out, Mark Clay on Facebook had pointed out that some of the other records are not real, and it's best to look at the actual cards for these tribes. Okay, Mark Clay Chapman. He is, I believe he is Creek, but he is living in Oklahoma, so he understands how these tribes work and what they're doing. And a lot of these tribes are discouraging us from doing our genealogy and claiming to be who we are, because y'all know they're going to have to some stuff, right? And it's definitely not about that. It's about us finding who we are. And they don't seem to understand that. They're thinking about money, they're thinking about hoarding money and hoarding resources. And most of us, we're not even, going for that, even though we deserve the same thing that everybody else is getting, right? All right. They have a whole chiefmacintosh.com with a collection descended from him. Or you might know when you need to check. Collection of Creek historical and genealogical records over there. Okay. Somebody can type going back to the website. But just so y'all see it, Chief McIntosh. They have the Dawes Commission and Enrollment of the Creeks. Right here, this is on archives.gov, National Archives records. Access Genealogy Day has some good resources. I didn't get into it that much, but they have some good resources on there. Recent news has obituaries. Roadside Georgia has Creek Indian links on here. Have you seen any surviving Ogeechee Indian names? I think one of the Carolina videos. Right? You talking about the Virginia Ogeechees? A lot of them married in with the Sapani. Okay, so they'll have those same Sapani surnames. Censuslink.com that has Native American census. Don't get caught up in these words, these terms, Native American and Indian and all this. Freedmen. Don't, you know what they talking about. Don't get caught up in semantics. Sheba, you said you'll donate on Monday. Excellent work as usual. Thank you, Sheba. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm out here buying books and all this other stuff. I'm gonna show y'all some of the things that I get. Uh, if you can see behind me, this thing is about to fall over with books, and I have two other bookshelves. You said, "Can we donate with EBT card? If I can buy food, yes." Being silly. I appreciate you too. Yeah, but y'all know I'll be traveling and going to these places and talking to people and going to these libraries and books with that donations. And I won't be on here like Umar talking about donations, gifts, gifts, donations. Y'all want to donate, then y'all donate. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I've spent a lot of my own money. That's going to these places and then so cash. You said cash out. Oh, can you for me, Sheba, like you usually do? Thank you. They also have the 1832 Creek census right here, images and transcript for people looking for that information. Let me see. I'm gonna click one of them for you guys. And on the PayPal, you said, okay, hold on. My stuff freezing up, y'all. Um, trying to put in the chat for you with my other name 'cause I'm signed in. Uh, but yeah, you guys can go to this page. I put in the link. I put in the chat that you can go here. It's okay. All right. Click this. I'm gonna click this one, Georgia Roadside, Georgia. I don't know why I read back for like this. I need to buy more guy. Y'all need to. I'm gonna use the EBT card. The rainstorm gonna give me. Get some more gum. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, I'm zooming in because this is kind of old. They said they updated on March 20th. Website. Remember those? Back when you was on the computer on AOL. Right. So they got American Indians. Let's see. The old website actually faster than the new. Okay, they have William son Sherman. Okay, surname. Wait a minute. No. What am I reading here? Destroyed much of northwest Georgia and then marched to Savannah. Surname on here. Okay. The ancestors and children of William Tecumseh. This man. And my slow internet, y'all. It's been windy. Yeah. Weather. Y'all got windy weather too? It was like it was raining, it was windy. Y'all know I had the storm the other week. William to come some sure. All right. He looks like a mix. Definitely got Scottish. Okay. He was in the Civil War. Robert Anderson too. I'm Anderson too. From Virginia. Cumberland. Okay. So somebody in the war. Okay. In the Civil War. And or he's part indigenous. All right. Let me see. Where were the surnames? What y'all saying? You said we the bad students in class, always in the principal office. Y'all cutting up today. You cutting up. All right, here's the answer. The bad influence parents warn the kids. What you smoking today, King? What are you smoking? You should you out there sharing it, whatever you smoke. Oh goodness, this is an AOL site. Oh no. Oh, y'all need their working. Go back to the envelope pinned to our coat to take stop. Let me go to specific. They have a section for Cherokee and they have a section. So I'm gonna click the Creek one. See what it is. Y'all cutting up, man. I'm about to send y'all to principal. Sitting in the corner. All right, let me zoom y'all here. All right, so 8th of Creek and Cherokee land. And it says this is a U.S. Senator and Princeton graduate. He became the superintendent of all Southern Indians and acted as the agent to the Creek Nation at the request of George Washington. Y'all see that? Y'all see the Creek, the agent stuff I'm talking about here? You said you really listening. You mean listening? See, you ain't even listening. You cutting up. You spelled it right, but you put it wrong. You cut up brainstorm. They have Chief Loop of a loop trail highlights Cherokee Creek and Mound Builder Indian sites in North Georgia. And in bibliography, available resources on and off the net. Nation, their society and customs, description as it existed in West and South Georgia before 1827, based on letters of Benjamin Hawkins, was an important person to Creeks. Descendants of Chief William McIntosh, so we keep seeing McIntosh on here. Chief William McIntosh Jr., a history of genealogy of Chief McIntosh Jr. and his descendants. Okay, I'm about to click that, but I want to on here because this is a plethora of resources for those who are descendants from the Georgia Indians. History of the Creek Indians in West and South from the 7th century until the removal in 1827. The Creek Indians ruled the majority of land in present-day Georgia. Creek treaties includes links to the treaties between Creek Indians, Creek Indian nations, and the state of Georgia and United States. Land sessions, chronological land sessions in Georgia. Mary Musgrove, Queen of the Creeks. This was another biracial woman who was, she married a European big time trader. Not trader, like she was a big trapper, I'll say. She was a big trapper. So they were trading goods and people. She was selling slaves. Mary Musgrove and James Oglethorpe were actually the first to bring slaves into the Georgia colony. Okay. So all out for herself, y'all see that. So she brought in, and her husband brought in a bunch of indigenous slaves to Georgia. Okay. And as some of y'all know, Georgia had banned the importation. South Carolina, she brought them to South Carolina and to Georgia. But when they went to South Carolina, after they went there, they had banned the importation of African slaves into South Carolina at one time. Okay. So she is very important to history. Okay. So it says this Creek woman and her first husband, James Oglethorpe, the first Georgia land and she returned years later and tried to lead a revolt against the colony. So that's why I said she's very important, very interesting. So she started off a sellout, and then she tried to revolt. Okay, so that's why certain people in history, you can't be so judgmental on them because they're humans. They have different sides. They learn things. The more they learn, they might change their opinion of things. So she started out a sellout, then she ended up trying to start a revolution. Okay. Native Americans in North Georgia. Index of information about Cherokee Creek and mound builders in North Georgia. Weatherford book, and then we just was just talking about William Weatherford and the other page. Document historical novel on William Weatherford and the Creek Indians. So they have all these good resources for you guys. OldSideGeorgia.com. I had already put it in the links, but we about to go chief to the page. You said that's what happened when you go to those Indian boarding schools. What? He said, "Yes, ma'am. I'm here sucking up now." I was cutting out. Sheba, you said, what's estimated said to have arrived on Turtle Island? Anyone? It depends on what area you're talking about. The estimated numbers right now who were in. Somebody ain't paid their bill. Oh no, all the resources are down the drain for surnames.com. I'm sorry, y'all. Somebody can keep it up. They ain't pay their bill. But yeah, the numbers. To go. Let me see. Boy, RG. For some 250,000 disembarked in North America. Site down. So there's that. All those people who got side within days of them getting off the ship. There was two sets of slaves on the plantation because they died, right? They lower than what they're. You said where they shut. Yeah, they shut down, right? They shut that because they had genealogy on there that's going to connect people to those creeks. Oh, they don't change the site. Look at that. They don't put skip on here. So y'all they don't put skip. They don't put skip on here. Skip introduces the slave and some of his people. Now they don't change all the African name on here. I don't have this ain't the same. Remember y'all used to go straight up screen. Now they got all this food on. Y'all notice he taking over all these things, but slave thing. Okay, let me see the numbers, y'all. No, he getting paid, Sheba. He's skipping right to the bank. Go to the we just all right. They trying to say 36,000 slaving expeditions, huh? No. No, I don't believe that. 36,000. No. You said the numbers are fake from Pan Boo Boo Slave. Boo Boo. What? Yeah, it's something ain't right, y'all. They keep changing the site. Let's see if they actually have the pure numbers. Sam, you going to do a live with electric turn off from your cell phone? What are you talking about, rainstorm? Oh my goodness. Y'all got me off. I'm way off track. About the creeks. Not a slave, not a slave. That slave boy just, no. You said you seen 252,000 embark and 305 disembark. No, you must got it mixed up. Disembark means you got off the ship. So embark is the number of people who originally got on the ship from wherever they came from. Of course, everybody didn't survive or they jumped off. People commit suicide. Of course, you don't want to be a slave. Like, who wants to be a slave? Or who wants to get on a ship and not know, be chained up and not know where you're going? So yeah, some people jumped. They said, forget that, we out. But the numbers of people who actually got off the ship and became slaves is going to be way lower. So the 200,000 are the people who got off the ship. And like I said, all those people didn't survive. You said because you didn't pay your electric bill. You over there on that Macintosh, like the Macintosh was. But you can see right here, most of these people got off in Bahia. Now, Bahia is in Brazil, you guys. You see that? You see it. You see Brazil. Full place of slave landing. Okay. Keep going. They got a whole bunch of more, but see the summary. Yeah, they want to trick us. They really want to trick us. Look at this, a whole million less slaves got off the ships. Look at these voyage numbers. Can y'all see this? This don't look right. This at all. Do y'all believe minority of the world started to voyage on ships? Do you really think they can 10 million? I thought it was 100 million, y'all. I thought it was 12 million. Now it's only 9 million slaves. Still, those numbers sound out. These people barely, like, they were eating. They were barely, you like 9 million people in one place and bring someone else. Some people, a lot of those people came from here. Okay? 36,000 voyages across the Atlantic Ocean. Do y'all know how crazy that sounds? I don't care if it's over. I don't care if it's hundreds of years. That don't even sound right. You said divide the 12.5 million number by 12, and you most likely have your real number. Yeah, it's not even, they're not even saying 12.5. Every year it goes down and down and down. Now they're saying 9 million. Akeem, they're only saying 9 million now. Right? And they have children, percent male. Right? One. So who were these African males having children with? They can't have children with the little girls. It's 21%. 64% males, you guys. Y'all see the proof right here. It's not making sense, right? They had to, just like the Europeans, procreate with the indigenous women. If these people, and I don't even believe all these people were actually Native Africans, right? Because those people traded foreigners, they traded American Indians, they traded the indigenous European slaves and the pale Europeans. So these numbers, all 64% Native African males. Those are other males mixed that caught up going on before this transatlantic trade. There's a trade been a trade of American Indians. You go to the story of Squanto, it's proof they enslaved all the males from his tribe and took them to Europe. Okay. So from Europe, I'm pretty sure that they took people to Africa as slaves. Okay. So y'all got to look into the stuff. You can't just listen You clearly see he got a agenda going on here. Let me see if I can click the tables. All right. Hmm. All right, y'all see? This is 25-year periods. Now, why? I don't believe these numbers, y'all. It's not. Every time I come to the site, they done changed something. They done changed it. Okay. So in the beginning, it looks like most of the slaves were from Europe and the Caribbean. You see mainland North American zero, Spanish mainland America zero, Brazil zero, Africa zero, others zero. Okay, so you see Caribbean slaves and European slaves on here. You said show you the slaves. There was the slave ships. There's slave ships, and I know where there's slave ships in the bottom of the Potomac Bay. Okay, in Virginia, and Virginia, and where's that? Maryland, DMV area, Potomac Bay. I mean Chesapeake Bay. I'm sorry, I said Potomac Bay. River. Potomac River flows into Chesapeake Bay. There are slave ships under there, or merchant ships. There weren't really many ships dedicated to just slaves. There were merchant ships. They're selling rum. They're selling cotton. Bringing corn over there. How y'all think Africa got most of their food? Most of their food crops come from over here. So the trade was not just with enslaved people. You look at the actual numbers of the passengers, quote unquote, on these boats, it was not many people being traded. Okay, and y'all can back at my slave ship video. I talk about that when I go to the Library of Congress. I see the records. It did not have. Some of them had one little girl come from Africa. It don't even make sense, and a lot of the slave trading was domestic, taking slaves from New England down to Virginia, down to New Orleans, that to the Carolinas. That's what they were doing, and vice versa. Right. You said mostly picked up in one port in America and shipped out to other ports. Right. And to the Caribbean. Caribbean was a big hotbed. They're taking people from the mainland, South America, as you see, who was a real person. She was an Arawak Indian, taken from mainland South America, and all off subject here, to the Caribbean, enslaved. From the Caribbean, she was taken to New England to be enslaved. Okay. So she was not African. And y'all notice when they depict Tituba, they show a dark skinned, melanated woman as Tituba, the Arawak slave. Okay. You said no wonder Africans have no clue. They don't know. And a lot of them Africans their family was already enslaved in Africa. Okay. Most of the populations were enslaved to the royal there. That's why they don't know nothing. So they sold people away, not the don't see them coming looking for their people, y'all. Squatters that they sold, right? Not Squanto specifically, but his peoples probably was some of the people that they sold back over here. Okay. And no Native Africans were sold here. Some were, yeah. Because you especially see that in Brazil. You see it in their culture, but you don't culture so much up here. We see a lot of American Indian culture. Tituba. You said a Ricky wooden ship would not even survive. I mean, they've survived tropical storms before. That's not the problem. The problem is having that many passengers on the ship, surviving, being fed, having fresh water, etc. Maybe 2,300 something at the most. Not they're trying to act like the ships are packed with 600 people every one of these 36,000 alleged voyages, which sounds absolutely crazy. But y'all see it yourself, and you see Africa get that many. You see on here, right? which makes absolutely, you can see down here, you see 1801, you see 1826. Not having that many people coming from there to burst of 100, that just don't even make sense now. That doesn't make any sense. Did that make sense? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You said, and the irony is most of the hurricanes come from Africa. Well, that's just how the currents are. That's how the current flows because there's a northern equilateral current right there in the middle ocean that the people in ancient time used to use to travel, including our people, because it goes in a circle like a conveyor belt. Okay, had sightings of American Indians over in West Africa in ancient times, and they also had American Indian sightings in Europe. Okay, they even have plaques and they have churches and stuff that have the remains of these American Indians. Okay, so Africans also were able to flow over here, but you can't. Then there's people saying that we descended from them, but we did not. You guys are different people. That's what I say all the time. No Africans came to help us this land. I mean, if it was their people, wouldn't they be over here helping somehow? Even after, I mean, I know they were having warfare and stuff, but once they got out of that, don't you think at least one little ship? Y'all gotta use logic. All right, so let's get back. So y'all can come here, .org if y'all want to look at the numbers. But we're back on subject because I need to get off soon. Let me see what else is on here. This Creek Census, y'all too great and click it all today. This Creek Treaty. It was good to learn. I'm coming back here. This is on Roadside, Georgia. Uh, let's see what word. Dog 630 here on average to the United States in 24 years. Yet they have 4 million slaves in the South. 60. They don't have them. Oh, these files, find them, they're destroyed. How? Y'all got documents, people back in the 1300s. How these records? These are business kept records. No, y'all don't have sense. They don't have many records. List from the other. That all. We already did this one too. Just search into those. Yeah. As about as they speak with a forked tongue. They sure do. And it's really crazy. It's really crazy. You see the hijack they try to take these people, this family, given the land and the will. But you know, other people they were getting will and it, okay. It's really sad and sickening. Really. All right, this is the org. You can go there. You see in the corner, you can click this button. It's free. This is run by the Mormon. Give you access to logical. It's similar. It's not as good as Ancestry.com. Have good resources, and you can create a tree in there and add to it for free. They do have association ancestry. I think they into it partially. Y'all know the Mormons, this is the part of religion to do genealogy. Okay. Remember, Brazil roughly half of the so-called African slave trade. Yeah, probably 80%, pretty much. Brazil had 80% of the African slaves, pretty much. And even those people do still have a strong Arawak and Tupinambay culture of the indigenous people. Still, because as you see, it's mostly 64% male. And who are the male going to procreate with? Indigenous women. They're not going to procreate with those 21% children, right? Most of the people enslaved were teenage or young age men, right? So from teenage 13 to probably 21 years old, that was the average age range of male teenage slaves, okay? Those were the average slaves, 64%. So who are these young men going to marry? Some of them could have married some of the 21% of children, and those were both male and female. Okay, it's probably for America, probably around 30,000 female children were sent over here. And then it's like, who are they? So they're not going, all of them not even going to marry Africans. Okay, some of them married indigenous men, right? Everybody just ain't gonna just like everybody just because they from a similar place. Like somebody could be from a tribe somewhere that nobody else is from in West Africa, and they might not get along with everybody. So, they might marry an indigenous person. Is there anybody know why I can't load link or even put the book title in chat? I'm not sure. I didn't have any problems. I don't have a problem on my computer or the phone doing it. Um, Bill. So I don't know. You might want to come out the chat and then come back in and see what happens. Because YouTube on Saturday be acting. It's doing okay today for me, but it be acting a little strange. Yeah, 80% um, of the Africans went to Brazil, pretty much, but maybe more than that. That's from my research. You said, with the said basic math, even a pan boo boo. Why do you keep calling them pan boo boo? The Pan Africans? The Pan Africans can do will show 365K can't produce 4 million. It's not even that high, Kaiwa. During that time frame, each woman would have to have 23 babies per year. So that means 3.6 million. Yeah, it's not possible. It's not possible. And then all those women of the it was only like I said, it was only like around 30,000 females sent to North America who they claim was imported, and they claim those people were African. Some a lot of them people from Caribbean, a lot of them people from somewhere else. Okay, they include the imports from the Caribbean as Africans, as some of you guys may know. Okay, so all these people, that 252,000. Some of them, a good percent of them, came from directly from the Caribbean, not even from directly from Africa. Okay. You said, Tasha, just move the decimal point 1 point to the left, and you most likely have your answer. Yeah, see, the numbers is not it's not adding up, John. Not adding up. You said YouTube stopped that on some channels. Oh, okay. I don't know. Well, maybe because it's a new channel. That's why we're trying to get the subscribers up. If we got to have at least over 1,000 subscribers, and I think 20,000 views to do certain things on this channel. All right, so that's probably what it is. You said 1.25 I don't know, because Brazil got a large amount of them. Like Brazil is the closest to West Africa. They're like 3,000 miles away. That's still a long way, but they're the closest. They have the closest direct route to Africa, avoiding a lot of those hurricanes and things like that, because they can go directly on that current that I was telling y'all about, Northern Equilateral Current. They can go directly on that current to get to West Africa. But here, no. Like I said, 30,000, the ones, the so-called African females came over here. And we did not all descend from 30,000 women or girls. And all those girls did not survive. So pretty sure a lot of them got worked to death. You said, I hate where they have changed a lot of the old records to read us as African American, which didn't take place till 1980, when you don't see Africans showing up in any old documents. Exactly, Vicky. I looked at all the colonial Virginia Company documents. Not one time did they mention Africa or Africans. So that whole story with what's his name, John Ralph, with his line, but how are you gonna go into him? John Ralph talking about 20 odd Negroes. He's not talking about Africans, y'all. Not one time is Africans mentioned in the official documents for the Virginia Company. That's several, probably 4 volumes of it. Okay. And even then, you said, I believe less than a million actual Africans came. Yeah, definitely not here. Definitely not North America. Definitely not based on their numbers. And I do believe their numbers are beefed up, as you saw. They just, how you dump 100 million, I mean 105,000 people in one year. It doesn't make sense, y'all. By 1555, they shipped out and enslaved 3 million Brazilians to Africa, according to the Jesuit. Yeah, the Tupinambay, they were sent to. That's actually how they got all those rubber plantations. Rubber is indigenous to America only. Okay, so they sent the Tupinambay people and Arawaks over there to the Congo and other areas in West Africa to start those rubber plantations because, of course, they were the only ones who knew how to cultivate the rubber. Okay, nobody tells you that. They want to talk about how only Africans were able to cultivate rice in South Carolina when we have indigenous wild rice to America. So that doesn't make sense. But nowhere else has indigenous rubber. So the rubber come from here. You said facts. The Tupi Lumbai built the Dutch forts also. Right, yes, they built the forts there. And a lot of them ran away into the jungles. So they intermarried with the native Africans. So those people, some of them descend from the Tupi Lumbai. And I'm pretty sure the Tupi Lumbai had their own tribe or something over there. We don't know what their names is because a lot of information was lost. Yeah. So you can go here, like I was saying, because we got off subject, to familysearch.org in Georgia. Okay. So they have the bands and the tribes of Georgia. They just tribes. The agencies are the Bureau of Indian Affairs, Records, Family History Library, Reservations, for further reading and references. You said I'm teaching class today. Tribes and Bands of Georgia, a list of American Indians who have lived in Georgia and have been compiled by John R. Swanton. I don't know. And the Indian tribes of North America. Many of the tribes in the list may have had very limited contact with the area which became Georgia. Some have become extinct or have been consolidated with other tribes, and some may simply be variant spellings. So, we already went over this before. The Appalachian, Lachicola, Catawba, Chatot, Cherokee, Chiaha, Chickasaw, Chickasaw Indians Creek, Wale, Chiti, Kashita, Okani, Okmulgee, Osochi, Shawak Lee, Shawnee, Shawnee Indians, Tamathli, Tumaka, Yamasi, and Yuchi. Do not ask me how and mounts recommend. Oh my goodness, you said Jesuit priests made those estimates, and that's just 50 years. Indian slavery in South America didn't stop until 1930. That is correct. Until recent times, they still have been kidnapping the Tupi Nambai people down in Brazil. And they still have plantations out in the jungle, even though it's illegal. There's several documentaries escape and I think it's in Brazilian language though. Keeping those plantations in recent time in 2000s out in the jungle. So they're still doing it. They're still doing it. They're cutting down all the trees, using them to make turpentine and whatever stuff they're doing down there. All right, Georgia State recognized tribes, the Cherokee of Georgia, Tribal Council, known as Cherokee Indians of Georgia Incorporated. I know these are businesses. Georgia Tribe of Eastern Cherokee Incorporated, Lower Muskogee Creek Tribe, Eastern Mississippi Incorporated. So there, a lot of these tribes are corporations. I've been telling people, and that's how they make money, and that's how the people get paid monthly. Um, there's a lot of people who think that automatically being indigenous or being American Indian, you're going to get a check or you're going to get reparations. No, these people get paid because they have incorporated their tribe and then they create a business as that corporation. And everybody who are members of that tribe, because they're members of the corporation, receive a portion of the proceeds. Okay, so Cherokee, definitely Cherokee Nation, as well as these Cherokee Indians of Georgia are corporations, and they do give their tribal members a check, right? You say, okay, I find it ridiculous they could transport millions of slaves either side of the Atlantic. I personally think if millions were moved around, it was within the Americas. Yeah, the millions were moved within the Americas. Um, some did come from overseas, but the numbers, I don't believe the numbers. I don't, and I don't believe they all survived. Even if they could bring them over, I don't believe they all. There's documentation of the people dying within a day or days or weeks after they got here. Okay. Agencies of the Bureau of Indian Affairs. So some of these agencies still have the documentations and old vital records of the tribal peoples. Okay, so you'll find some of the surnames in those documents, and they have Creek Agency page right here on this family search. Let me try to put this in the chat for y'all. Since yeah. Yeah, you guys. Bosch in 1537. You talking about where? Oh, I don't know. All right, I put it in the chat for you guys so you can follow. Ooh, my neck. Okay, so you can go to this page and Creek Agency information. Records, the majority of records of individuals were those created by the dolls, rolls, and things. Some records may be available to tribal members through the tribal headquarters. They were and are the local office of the Bureau of Indian Affairs and of the activities of those responsibility. What does that sound like? Minors, children, U.S. government treating people like minors and children. Among these records are the allotment records, annuity records, census records, correspondence, health records, reports, school, census, and records, and vital records. Okay, so you go on this page. I'll click the link on there. You see it says no grandma killer. I'll put the link under there. So you can go to each page. These are all family search, and they have these resources for you. So after you create your account with them, you can do that. But I'm not sponsored by Family Search or Ancestry, so I'm just letting y'all know it's not sponsored. Y'all have y'all own little chat going on in here. Um, yeah, so Family History Library for a complete list of available study and family search catalog, search by tribe and locality. So they have the actual microfilms on here, right? You can find these microfilms at your local library as well. Just talk to your librarian. I think it might be a fee if you want them to ship it. If it's not already digitalized, they can ship it to you. And then the librarian can sip the microfilm and everything. So you just pay a fee for the shipping because it's kind of heavy. You said you still with me? Okay, y'all in your own world on here. You said, all right, I'm still digging. Thank you. Talking to Kiowa. I do know that Africans were scarce around this time period. Somebody had to be reclassified. Yeah, the people were definitely reclassified. And of course, it's the concept of these people mixing out as well. Okay, a lot of them mixed out. So thanks for dropping the links. I saved them to Evernote so I can dig deeper later. Okay, Candy B. Yeah, it should be a whole bunch of links in there if you scroll up. Okay. So they have the Office of Indian Trade on here. Several documents from them. A letter book of the Creek Trading House. Guide to American Indian Research Sources at the Georgia Department of Archives. That Indian decapitation claims, letters and the Indian Wars. Okay, some of y'all don't know that the decapitation claims is basically people claiming reparations for Indians destroying their property, and those people receive reparations, but we can't receive reparations. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy if you actually look up who receive all these reparations. It's ridiculous. People are not even from here, but they have a problem giving the American Indian basically their proper reparations for being enslaved, right? That's crazy. And then they have right here family search calculator for racist list titles. So they have a whole plethora of resources. Reservations from the mid 1800s, the official policy of the United States government towards American Indian was to confine each tribe a parcel of reservation. Agencies were established on or near each reservation. The government, usually called an agent, was assigned each. Their duties include maintaining the peace to the Native Americans based on the truth which each tribe, providing a means between the native population and the federal government. So, like I was trying to tell you, these Indian agents were, and like I said, a lot of them married into the tribe to establish themselves. Sometimes a single agency had jurisdiction over more than one reservation. And land area required it. An agency included sub-agencies. Boundaries of reservations over time have changed. Usually that means the reservation size. Sometimes their policy, the official status of reservations was ended altogether. We see that with the Accomack tribe in Virginia. just got rid of the reservations. It's like a park now. But we know they're gonna get it back. Okay, they've been fighting. For a current reservation map, Georgia, Indian reservations, you can look at that. The National Atlas of United States lands and Indian Department of the following list of reservations have been compiled Natural Atlas of the United States of America. The Omni Gazir. Yes, so it's got a whole bunch of stuff. There's a Georgia tribe, Eastern Cherokee, and a Tama tribal town on here. So those they're going to be listed on the Indian reservations map. You say your great grandmother was Irene Pearl White. Okay. And right here, this is for further reading. Also see American Indian online genealogy records. Okay. Said plus the pale faces said in 1492. Yeah, they what they kind of did that everywhere because they were just getting out into the boats, and they were basically doing little test runs to cycle and see how they could manipulate them and basically take over the land, which they did. So, I mean, it was the genius. That's what you were trying to really, it really was genius. But then it was despicable with people like Christopher Columbus, if he was real, allegedly, people like that did, these explorers. They really got low. They really got low. So the people back home didn't really know what they were doing. Once they realized what they were doing, they tried to put a stop to it. But it was when they started to break off Africa and all these other countries. People were trying to stop the despicable behavior. All right. So they got a lot of resources on here. This is the American Indian Online Genealogy Records. Let me put this in and get on here. Some research. All them, all them explorers. I can't think of one who wasn't despicable. Maybe some of the Dominicans or the friars, whatever they call themselves, good but they were spreading the religion. The religion was basically telling people to not retaliate. So, you know, I mean, they're giving people a spiritual anchor, which they thought was positive, but it didn't really help with the people being violated, right? Oh, y'all, I need some more gum. I know y'all like she's gonna go through the whole box of gum. My throat. Okay, let me make this bigger for y'all. So this one has all the tribes. Okay, and you can see the Oklahoma Indian Terry Merritt Citizen and Census Record. Excuse me, y'all. Chomping away. They have Blackfeet genealogy, and these are the Blackfeet from Montana, not the Blackfoot who are Catawba and different tribes, Algonquins and different all black. Got Native American cemeteries, all the census rolls over here. All right, abstract of Creek Indian census cards. So we're gonna look at this one because I'm seeing it everywhere. All right. To Gen Census Project Native American Census Rolls. Ancestors of Chief Montoy. So a lot of y'all descend from North Carolina Cherokee Reservation genealogy. And everybody on these Cherokee reservation. Some of them were Tuscarora and Catawba and people like that. All right. So all of this stuff. So the link that I put in the chat just now has all this information. How do you add pictures to your family tree? You have to click on the profile and you click on the little person, I guess. You'll be able to do that. I'm not sure about family search. Excuse me. I'm not sure about family search, but I know on Ancestry you can just click on the picture and do that. So what you would do if you don't want to pay the Ancestry fees, I know they $20 a month. I mean that's more Netflix. So you take the not 90-day. They used to have a 30-day trial. Now they only give you 14 days. So set up your tree on that 14-day trial. Then you'll be able to go to the library. Libraries usually have a library edition of Ancestry, which is 10 times much better than the one that you're paying for. So the free one is much better, and you'll find stuff that you can't find on the paid one, on the library version. Go to the library research. They have an option that you can send the email. You can email your results to yourself. So you email that, and when you get home, you click those links and you're able to upload it to your page, even if the trial is over. So even if you haven't paid your bill, you're able to do that. Okay. Yeah. All right. So they have a whole bunch of look at Chickasaw marriage records, Chippewa records, Choctaw Nation. I'm clicked off on there. What is y'all talking about? Kool-Aid and for lunch? Okay. I don't abstract Creek census cards. It says Seminole Nation because they were under the creeks. You guys, y'all paying attention? Y'all feeding for Kool-Aid and chicken wings. Energy drinks. What y'all talking about? Oh my goodness. Candy Bee, Virginia. You can get the state's version. It gives you more access than the library's license to use the software. Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. You're talking about the Virginia.ancestry.com. Okay. I've used it, but I didn't know it was more than the library. Okay. He said, hey, Tasha, check out Jude Dias Morris's report and maps he did for the Interior Department, where he and his sons live and travel into the Indian Interior for 2 years. He gave great descriptions of the tribes. Okay, I'll check that out. Let me screenshot it. Okay, I'm gonna check that out, Vicky. For you guys. And it's probably gonna be the last thing because y'all got me feeling for Kool-Aid. You see access to Straight William Library site. Okay, Candy. Oh, this is Candace. Okay. Uh, Candace, when was that cleanup that you were talking about? I know that it's next weekend, right? All right, I'm gonna come if it's next week out. Like the jokes, you guys. Now y'all. I was in the zone. Now y'all got me thinking about lunch. Got me thinking about lunch now. in my mouth and making me hungry. You said next Saturday. Okay, thank you, Candy. All right, y'all see the chat room? It's not working. So you may get sugar Kool-Aid straight from the sugar plantation. What are y'all talking about? You said talking about some Kuta Kente sugar and all this crazy stuff. All right, yeah, thank you. Send me the flyer. Okay, I'm trying to get this. It's the Vicky word. Oh no, is that the jet? Sir. Okay, so we're gonna get into the Creek Indians. The link in the chat. Yes. All right. Names on there, so y'all can just go here and look for yourself on the abstract because they got everything on there. Y'all see